Thank you very much. The Australian High Commissioner, His Excellency John Fix, Lavalibu. The New Zealand High Commissioner, Your Excellency Charlotte Tallow. The UNICEF Resident Representative, Mr. Jonathan Vach. The Permanent Secretary of Health, Dr. Fong. Chief Medical Advisor, Dr. Tunrao. The Head of Fiji Pharmaceutical and Biomedical Services, and your team, Chief Pharmacist also, Mr. Mateka. It is indeed a wonderful day. I'm actually a bit overwhelmed to be receiving, on behalf of the Fijian people, the Fijian government, 500,000 Pfizer vaccines and a little bit over 500,000 Pfizer vaccines as an addition to the vaccines that we already had to boost Fiji's fight against the third wave of the COVID-19 global pandemic and to ensure that we are vaccinating all the children 12 and above who are eligible to be vaccinated. From my understanding, as we have heard, it's 30,000 doses of Pfizer that's available to Fiji through the partnership of Australia and UNICEF. And New Zealand will procure vaccines for partner countries in the Pacific by the end of the year 2022. And at this stage, I want to again reiterate my thank yous to the New Zealand government for giving Fiji a total of 100,000 doses of Pfizer vaccine for 12 to 14 years old. Nawalivu, Madam, and Nawalivu for your support. The government and the Ministry of Health and Medical Services acknowledges the continued support of Abu Dhabi, Australia and New Zealand, and UNICEF in securing the health of all Fijians in this global pandemic and indeed leave no one behind. The vaccination provides protection from severe disease, hospitalization and death. We believe that our high vaccination rate is protecting our population from severe disease and hospitalization in this third wave. Last week when we were in the Lau group up in Bulombalabu, one of the first questions that the chiefs of Loma Loma asked me when it was the Talanoa session was this question: when is the booster dose arriving? And I was very pleased as a minister that was the first question that they asked: when is the booster dose? And I heard by the end of the week the FPBS team packed up the Moderna vaccines and sent it across to Bulombalabu for the booster doses for our people up in Bulombalabu. And it's great to see that the awareness of vaccination and how vaccination actually protects us from the disease is actually penetrating through to all areas of society. As of the 1st of February 2022, we've had 92.8% of our population fully vaccinated, one of the highest in the world. We've started booster doses and we've vaccinated over 76,000 of our Fijians in that booster dose group or the vulnerable group. We are encouraging adults, and I encourage you today to get your booster shot. And also children between the ages of 12 to 14 years to get vaccinated now that Pfizer vaccine is available. For those children who have turned 15, while waiting for your second dose of Pfizer, do not panic as you still are eligible for this dose. Our ministry has also received numerous queries in regards to the second dose of the vaccine at the required stipulated time, which is the 21-day interval. The WHO has considered for deferring the second dose in settings with limited vaccine supply. It acknowledges, the WHO, that a number of countries face exceptional circumstances of vaccine supply constraints combined with high burden of disease, and some countries have therefore considered delaying the administration of the second dose to allow for a higher initial coverage and have chosen the interval of 12 to 16 weeks. The ministry is also equally concerned at the moment with those that are yet to be fully vaccinated. They do not have any protection against the virus and can get severe disease and death if they get the disease. These also will be the points of propagation of the disease to continue to stay in the community. And although we have a high vaccination coverage, we do have pockets of low coverage. Families, small communities, faith groups, and cultural groups. Many of us in this room know someone who hasn't been vaccinated. I ask you to continue to advocate vaccination. Continue to suggest to them that this is a way of protecting themselves. We continue to appeal to everyone to be fully vaccinated. Get vaccinated and help protect your lives, your families, and our community. As we speak, Our medical interns are on the ground, and they are ready to deliver the Pfizer vaccines around the country. And we hope to start our vaccination drives on February the 8th, which is next week. Your Excellency, John Fix, Your Excellency, Charlotte Dowell, Aububale, Nawalew. UNICEF, thank you very much. And please extend our gratitude to your governments and also to the UNICEF headquarters for your continued assistance to us and our great appreciation.
Minister, Charlotte, Jonathan, members of the media, members of the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here today. I'm really pleased to see that this partnership between New Zealand, Australia and UNICEF has delivered the first down payment on our 500,000 vaccines we'll bring in over the next 6 or 7 weeks, which will provide the backbone of the boosters that the Ministry will administer to further inoculate the Fijian population against COVID-19. And I'd like, as I always do, to take this opportunity to pay my respects and to the Ministry of Health for their wonderful performance over the last year or so in administering what has been a world-class vaccination campaign, the fruits of which we've seen with the return of Australian and New Zealand tourists and the reopening of the Fijian economy. And I think that's a testament to what has been a whole-of-government performance led by the Ministry of Health. And I think everyone here should acknowledge that, as I do frequently. So thank you very much for having me today, and I look forward to the official handover with Charlotte, Jonathan and the Minister. Thank you.
Bula Vanaka, and thank you very much for the warm welcome here this morning, Minister, and to John and Jonathan for your comradeship as we go forward in this endeavour. New Zealand is very delighted to be partnering with Fiji, Australia and UNICEF in the delivery of these vaccines. I think John has said it all, but let me also pay tribute to the health workers who will administer the vaccines. Like those in Australia, we in New Zealand have been watching very closely and have been continually impressed by how smoothly, how determinedly Fiji has rolled out its vaccination program. And the exceptionally high rate of vaccination in the general population is something that Fiji should be very rightly proud of, that the rest of the world is watching. And I think Fiji in many ways is setting the path for what reconnecting to the world looks like in terms of a very highly vaccinated population and a very professional and determined approach to getting booster shots out there. The other thing that I'm particularly pleased about in this particular consignment is that it takes us further down the pathway of being able to vaccinate 12 to 14-year-olds to enable that safe return to school. As a parent of school-aged children, I, like every other parent in Fiji, I think am cheering the return to school and face-to-face learning for our students that have been out of the classroom for a long time. So, Bula Vanaka, thank you again, Minister, for your hosting. Thank you to the Ministry for having us here today. And thank you both to Australia and UNICEF for being steadfast partners. Kia ora.
Thanks so much, Honourable Minister, Excellencies, Dr. Fong, Jeremiah Mataika, senior government officials, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. It's my pleasure. I'm really happy. I've been waiting for this for this vaccine for a while, so I'm really pleased to be here today to hand it over to officially to the Fiji Ministry of Health. 530 doses 30,000 doses in total will be coming in, as you know. 175,500 came in night before last. We were down in Nandi to welcome that, and we're very pleased about that. And this is part of the response, the excellent, as John already mentioned, the all-of-government response and to an evolving situation. And it's evolving everywhere in the world, and you need to adjust and adapt. And this is a sign of the adaptability of the Fijian government and its public health approach to vaccination in terms of changing policy and making sure that everybody is protected, getting that booster for COVID, and also enabling children, the younger community, to be vaccinated. And of course, I was going to mention going back to school, and I'm glad Charlotte did. That is really important. And I mentioned it also yesterday. Primary opening next Monday is a wonderful thing for Fiji. It's very, very important that your children go back to school and they restart their education. And that's only possible because of the efforts of the Ministry of Health, and then together with the Ministry of Education to get ready for that. I also want to thank and commend all of the health workers, the volunteers, parents and guardians for making sure you vaccinate your children. So you have an opportunity now over age of 12 to get the world-class vaccine, the best vaccine that's available for children of this age, and you need to take it and make sure that every child is vaccinated with this. And particularly I want to thank the governments of Australia and New Zealand, who are always with us and always support us throughout all of our campaigns and our support to, in the health sector, not only the health sector, but particularly during COVID, which poses such a great threat to the society and such a great threat to the future lives of our children. And without them, a lot of this would not be possible. So I really appreciate all of the financial and technical support that Australia and New Zealand always provide. We will continue to provide as much as possible. I must admit that with a lot of COVID in the Pacific now, we're running out of test kits. We're trying to buy more. I know everybody's scrambling to do the same. But we've provided as many as we can, 60,000 tests over the last few months. And if we can, we'll be procuring many more as well. So it's my pleasure to be here with the Minister today and with our colleagues, and I wish you a great and successful rollout of Pfizer. Oh, just one last thing, and remember that it's an ultra cold chain, and that this Pfizer vaccine is specially stored in very low temperatures, and that it lasts longer. So it's able to last longer in terms of shelf life than usual vaccines, because we'll be changing the temperature very slowly. So it's a great advantage that we've now installed that, and the Fijian government installed it and has an ultra cold chain capacity in the country. So that's fantastic news as well. Ifereimi Waqainabete. Thank you.